Hey, this is Jeff, and welcome back to Fallout 3 Pacifism and More. Last time we finally brought Sticky to Big Town, but it's not quite as wonderful as the kids into the lamplight think it is. Super Mutants recently kidnapped some of the residents, and the only person willing to help is a pacifist kleptomaniac. But before we go rescue them, I want to go down to the clinic basement. This room always seemed kind of weird to me. There's no loot, no lore. Maybe at some point it was going to be used in a quest or something, but that got cut. I don't know. But now there's something worth coming down here for. Over in the lockers, there's another dose of Buzz-Off. Won't help against super mutants, but I used the only one I had in the last episode, and you never know what you'll run into in the wasteland. The hostages are being held in the Germantown Police headquarters, and we don't have a map marker around there, so we'll have to walk. Meresti might be slightly closer, but random encounters spawn right outside the door to the train tunnel, so it's probably safer to go straight from here. Germantown Police Headquarters. We're in caution, but that probably is just the ones inside the barricade. Running makes more noise, which might be why they're alerted, but I'm pretty sure they can't actually see us out here. Inside is going to be a completely different story. We will be creeping along at minimum speed.
We need to get more. I know, but we got two here still. The female is locked up. We'll take her back with us. The tiny male is downstairs. He won't be coming with us, will he? We almost got all those little people from Big Town, huh? What then? Find more somewhere else. Home. We need more prisoners before we can go home. We'll go back and get more.
Now, I'm pretty sure those two don't leave the room they're in unless they're alerted, so we should be safe to do a bit of light looting. That will not be the case down on the first floor, where they patrol the halls and go into most of the rooms. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. There's a safe with some pretty good loot, and the password to the lockdown terminal. Not this terminal, the one downstairs that frees red. And there's the password. You can pick the lock on her cell, but no sense risking a lockpick if we don't have to. And right across the hall, another mine. Skill book, medicine, and some meds. This is where things get real. There's a boss that seems to be one tier higher than what could ordinarily spawn at the player's level. So like, if you're level 6 or lower and you'd normally only see basic super mutants in random encounters, the boss would be a brute. Which means it'll be a master for us. If you're level 16, 17, and you're just starting to see masters once in a while, the boss can be an overlord, which is a very nasty surprise, because masters are a big step up from brutes, but overlords are basically indestructible unless you have elite endgame quality weapons and armor, and even then they're no fun. But at level 10, if we get spotted by a master, we're in a world of hurt. And like I said, the ones down here patrol. Nope. That wasn't the boss, but if any of them spot us, he'll come running. So we need to play Ring Around the Rosie so we don't get spotted.
What was that?
The evidence room is locked, but it's a good place to hide because they never go into it. I think it's just hard, so we can pick it with the utility suit. Nope, just average. Even better. Not to mention a bunch of highly valuable contraband. Red's cell is right across the hall. Can't tell radroaches from super mutants on the compass. Stick to the shadows, and even if a super mutant comes in, it shouldn't spot us. We got the password, so emergency cell release. And if nothing's sneaking up on us, talk to Red.
You're rescuing me? Thanks! I thought we were goners for sure. I think the others are dead. Or worse.
I'm glad you're safe. There's a guy named Sticky that wants to see you.
That's right. His birthday was recently. Did he make it to Big Town already? Oh, I can't wait to see him.
Is there anyone else? I overheard the Super Mutants say there were still 2 captives left alive.
Everyone else is dead. We're taken away to who knows where. Well, except maybe for Shorty. They dragged him off downstairs to the kitchen a while ago. But no one comes back from the kitchen.
You wait right here. I'll go see about Shorty.
I'm not waiting around for some super mutant to lock me up again. There's the back door somewhere around here. If you're not back soon, I'm leaving without you. If I'm not here when you come back, meet me at Big Town.
Oh, if only she would. But she presumably just says that to encourage you to be quick, because it would be really out of character for her to abandon her friend. Oh, I think that's the boss, and he does come in this room. I guess we'll put that hiding in shadows theory to the test. Master, that's the boss. And he does not care that her cell door's open. Let's get while the getting's good. Crap. Good, it's going the other way. There's a little room with some gore bags at the end of this hall we can hide in. I think we established in episode 1 or 2 that Luz might be a pacifist, but she's not squeamish. There's nobody close enough to spot us now. Just get to the basement. Now we have a bit of a problem. There's only one super mutant in the basement, but there's a trigger that starts a conversation where it taunts Shorty for a while and at the end kills him. So unlike a lot of seemingly urgent tasks in this game that you can actually procrastinate forever and nothing bad happens, once that conversation starts, you are on a timer. Even worse, it's looking right at him, and you have to talk to him to free him. You can't just stay crouched and cut his ropes or whatever. Which means you have to stand up to talk to him, just like Red, so there's no way we can free him undetected. The good news is, the trigger's across the hall from the shooting range, so we can take our time looting in here. Skill book, lockpick, and a nuke launcher, which is usually the big reward for coming here, but it's in poor condition, so it's worth less per pound than Nuka-Cola, and Luz can't use it, so I'm just going to leave it. Oh good, radroach is blocking the exit. I mean, they're hardly our biggest concern at the moment, but they could blow our cover if they aggro. I know I said in the Robco factory that using buzz-off on radroaches would be a waste, but this is a completely different situation. And now we're on a timer.
You freak. You're going to eat me, aren't you?
Hungry.
There's plenty of body parts laying around.
And I'm gonna rummage through them.
Why don't you eat those instead?
They're not fresh, not warm. Taste old.
Spotted us.
Thanks. Who are you? Never mind, I don't care right now. Let's go get Red and get out of here.
I need to talk to you before we go, but Red's fine.
All right, if you say so, boss. But if we get to Big Town and she isn't there, I'll kill you.
There's a new option added by the mod to give him a stealth boy, but he's gonna need more than that.
Hell yeah! Lay it on me.
His AI is already set to unaggressive, so he won't fight unless he's attacked, but as soon as we end this dialogue, he will be. Even with a good gun, he won't be able to kill a super mutant, but at least he'll keep his distance and won't run up and try to punch it with his bare hands. More importantly, he needs some armor. We're already in combat, so the stealth boy won't keep him hidden. It'll just reduce the mutant's chance to hit. And if he does get hit in street clothes, he's dead. So give him the power armor and cross our fingers. You can give him a stealth boy in the trade menu and tell him to use it later, but he's going to need it sooner rather than later. Here's a stealth boy. Activate it and follow me.
Good idea. They won't see me.
Now run away! If we can get upstairs and back into caution before it follows us, he might stand a chance. Less taunts, more running, please.
I'll eat your blood and
There's the
drink
Super
your
Mutant.
blood!
Shorty's flagged as a follower during this part of the quest, so he automatically catches up at loading screens. With power armor, he should be able to take a few hits from a hunting rifle. The important thing is that he doesn't get spotted by the Master. Still with me? Yes. Let's get you a safe distance from the building.
What's the holdup?
I need to go back for Red, so I need that gear.
Hell yeah! Lay it on me.
Why does he have 2 magnums? 3, 4. Is this a duplication glitch I never heard of before? Infinite magnums would be pretty cool. Nah, despite the menu weirdness, I only have 1 now. Wait here until I get back.
If you're not back soon, we're out of here.
Yeah, we is a bit premature. I said Red was fine. I didn't say she was out. You know what? We're like 10 feet from the door. Just follow me.
Well, all right. Don't get us killed, okay?
That is the plan.
Now try and hide from that!
That was the Master. I don't think they can come outside, so hopefully when we get to Shorty, we'll be far enough away to fast travel.
Whew. I'm glad to be safely back home.
I don't mean to be a jerk, but Sticky said you'd reward me for bringing him here, and then I got caught up in the whole hostage rescue thing, so...
Right, of course. Rescuing me was a job to you, and you're a real professional. Well, here you go. I wish I had more I could give you.
It was my pleasure.
Thanks. I know you've already risked your life once already, but I heard the mutants talking about another attack. They'll probably be here soon.
The thing is, I'm a pacifist. I can't kill the super mutants for you, but maybe I can show you how to defend yourselves.
Really? That's great. What do you have in mind?
I'm not doing the science check. One of the robots is a sentry bot, which can definitely hold its own against super mutants, but it's buggy. Sometimes it doesn't spawn correctly in the junkyard, and then they're basically defenseless. So, I'll teach you how to sneak and hide. They'll think you've deserted the town.
Great. I'll round everyone up. You show us how to hide and sneak.
And once everybody shows up, we just sneak for a while to show them how it's done. After you're done teaching, some mutants spawn north of town, and I don't know if the sneak training actually works. No matter what option I pick, I always run out to intercept the mutants on the road, because if there's a big battle in town, some of the residents usually die, even if they have a sentry bot on their side. If you teach them to shoot, which we didn't have the option because Luz doesn't have high enough gun skill, it's a bloodbath. Well, there they are. You can also teach them to plant mines, which I think works a little better, but it's still risky.
Muties! Muties! The muties are coming!
We didn't have that option either because Luz doesn't have the explosive skill.
Everyone get ready!
Find a place to hide and see what happens.
Who's it going to be this time? The time has come. Don't you want to be like us? Where are they? Don't know. They're gone. Scared. They ruined off. Now, find another village. Take those people. They're fine. Somewhere else. Come on. Let's go.
Okay, that actually works. I hope everybody waits till they're well outside of town before they move. Looks like they're gone. Now, I'm going to talk to Bittercup because if you flirt with her, she'll eventually give you a little gift once per day. Sometimes it's trash, but sometimes it's chems or ammo or caps.
Remember to keep an eye on the north.
Very sensible. I think a lot of people don't give her enough credit because she's weird. Kimba appreciates what we've done too. Anyway, Luz is not going to turn down free stuff from somebody who has a crush on her.
Have you come to talk to me?
Yes.
I think I'm going to build a little shrine to you. All I need is some incense sticks and candles.
I like your makeup. The pale white really reflects the lighting.
That's why I never go out during the day. The moon has such a better shine to it than the sun.
I know, right? I mean, I'm a night person myself. The darkness conceals my activities.
You're not, seeing anyone right now, are you?
Why no? I'm not in any sort of relationship. Are you?
Oh, well, I need to get going. But come back and visit me sometime, okay?
Now, about those nocturnal activities. We avoided an even bigger karma bonus that you get for turning down Red's reward, but just what we got from rescuing her and Shorty and then getting rid of the mutants pushed us into good, so we need to go on another burglary spree. Okay, the bad news is nothing in Big Town was marked as stealing, so there was no point taking anything. The good news is I came back to Megaton to use the infirmary, and between robbing the water treatment plant and the restaurant, we're back down to neutral. The bad news is we're running out of places in Megaton to rob. The good news is, with our karma back to neutral, it's safe to go to Rivet City now, which is really good because just the loot from the police station already cleared all the vendors in Megaton out of caps. After that, there's a bunch of stuff stashed in the house for specific people, like pre-war books for Scribe Yearling, energy weapons for the Outcasts, and so on. Oh, I almost forgot Gob. He only sells drinks, but he'll buy anything. Okay, talk to him, then Rivet City.
Another of those damn love letters arrived for you.
Another letter from Burke. Let's read that before I forget. Beloved, the pain of our separation is unbearable. I miss you terribly. I cherish the memory of our brief time together. Send me a letter, won't you? Send it to Tenpenny Tower. They'll be sure to get it to me. Oh, be patient a little while longer, my little songbird. Soon we will be free of our cages, and our love will soar to the heavens above. Yours very truly, Burke. Yeah, letters are nice and all, but how about flowers? Or chocolates? Or a promissory note?
Oh, man. I'm glad to see you. Moriarty's been especially nasty lately, and I need a friendly face.
I don't need a drink, but I have some things I think you might be interested in. Alright, this is the last load for Fort Independence. I had to make multiple trips, mostly because Luz's carry capacity is so pathetic, but I did have more energy weapons than I realized. I think they were mostly from Raven Rock. Eden's robots killed a bunch of Autumn soldiers, and Fox killed 3 or 4 more outside. And plasma weapons are worth a lot of relationship points. If my math is right, the Outcasts should make us a member after we turn these in. RL3 has returned to Canterbury Commons. I said when we bought him that I'd eventually leave him someplace and forget, but I didn't think it would be the very next episode. I mean, I didn't actually forget him. I was planning to fire him and hire Dogmeat today, but I wasn't expecting him to get bored and beat me to the punch. All companions start a timer when you tell them to wait, and if it expires, they go back to a home base, just like if you fired them. Fox goes back to the museum, Clover goes back to Paradise Falls, whatever. RL3 is kind of weird because if there's an in-game explanation of why he goes to Canterbury Commons instead of the Robco factory, I don't know what it is. My best guess is it has something to do with the Mechanist.
Well, look who it is. What have you got for us today?
That was the last one. The only thing left we can turn in is the power armor, and we're obviously keeping that. Like I said last time, having them accept you isn't a huge benefit because they're not hostile to the player, and they generally are hostile to anything else. So if you run into them in the wasteland, they'll back you up even if you're not technically friends. But maybe now we can go inside the base without getting shot. That's all for now.
Okay, then.
So, are we good? Do you trust me enough now?
You've definitely proven your worth. I'll make sure to tell our people on patrol that you're a friend of the Outcasts.
I'm a friend of all kinds of outcasts, Henry. I need to get going.
Bye.
And I also said last time that ammo was probably the best reward because we had enough stim packs and ammo had 0 weight, so we wouldn't need to worry about encumbrance before we're ready to sell it. I realized that was dumb because the same is true for stim packs. Anyway, we got a map marker for the Scrapyard on the way to Minefield, so let's go say hi to Dogmeat. What's the matter, boy? Lose your master? I can be your new master. Would you like that, boy? I was planning to go to Canterbury Commons after I fired RL3 for reasons we'll see shortly. You'd obviously know where your companions are going if you dismiss them in person, and for most of them it makes sense even if their wait timer expires, but RL3 is kind of out of the blue. I don't know, he's a robot, maybe he sends a radio message to your Pip-Boy or something, but looting these raiders gives us another in-game excuse to go there. Pretty much every merchant Lou's knows is out of caps until their inventories respawn, and Wolfgang told us back in episode 2 that Canterbury Commons is a caravan hub, so maybe somebody there can buy this junk.
The citizens of this town have nothing to fear. The Mechanist is here to protect them.
Ha! We'll see about that. Attack, my ant soldiers. Destroy this fool and his tin toys.
Go forth, my steadfast creations. Show these vermin humanity's true power.
Face it, Mechanist. Humans and their toys are done for. They killed themselves off with their petty wars.
Humans may be weak sometimes, but our creations are strong and pure. Something you'll never be.
Fool! Humanity's creations were the seeds of their undoing. And now, the world will belong to the AntAgonizer!
Not while the world is protected by me, the Mechanist! Your reign of terror is at an end!
The Mechanist seems like he's trying to defend the town, but nobody's hostile to us, so let's follow the AntAgonizer and see where she goes. I don't think I've ever seen her minions fight the robots to a draw. They usually get slaughtered, and she runs off alone. I guess a tougher tier of ants must start spawning at a slightly lower level than tougher robots, and we were just at the right level to see them when they were evenly matched. Kinda cool. Back to town.
Are you all right? You aren't hurt, are you? I'd like to apologize for the rude welcome. Those two have been a bit of a problem lately. Name's Rowe. Uncle Rowe to most. Welcome to Canterbury Commons. For what that's worth.
What was all that about? Who were those people?
The, Mechanist and the AntAgonizer. That's just what they call themselves. It's ridiculous, I know. A while ago, we were attacked by the AntAgonizer, that woman with the ants, obviously. The Mechanist saved the town with his robots. Well, that was all well and good, but I swear their fights are getting bigger, and it's been driving off the merchants. They simply won't leave.
Hey, weirdos are kinda my specialty.
Oh, that's terrific. I knew you'd help out. Knew it in my gut, and it's never steered me wrong on a deal yet. Find where the AntAgonizer and the Mechanist hide and convince them to stop or otherwise end their hostility, and you'll earn 200 caps. You only need to stop one of them, really. Nowadays, I think they only stay in Canterbury to fight each other.
Double that, and you've got yourself a deal.
You drive a hard bargain, friend. But seeing how we haven't been able to solve the problem ourselves, fine. You've got a deal. But I expect results. Oh, and please do try to use some discretion. We already have plenty of would-be heroes starting wars in our streets. We don't need another.
No worries there, my friend. Anything to trade around here?
You can usually find one of the trade caravans at the entrance to town. They come through every day or two. Other than them, Porter's always got food for sale down at the diner.
I actually want to talk to him about several things, but we can do that later. I have to go now.
Good luck with those two troublemakers.
The meta reason I came here is the next new feature in the mod, a special suit of armor for Dogmeat that a friend of mine requested, and it's right here in the diner. But where is Joe? Weird. Luz has the strange feeling that there should be a bar in that building. Maybe she's sensing an alternate reality or something. Shameless plug. That's where my quest mod, Quo Vadis, starts. Now, if you're wondering why Joe has the dog armor, it's because canonically he used to have a dog. Although the canon status of that is debatable. It's never mentioned in-game, but it's in his bio in the official strategy guide. Which, as it's the official strategy guide, and most of it was written by people who worked on the game, I consider canon, but like the Fallout Wiki doesn't. Well, since I can't find Joe, let's at least see where he keeps the armor. Well, that's Derek, sleeping in Joe's bed. Right here, dog armor case. You can just steal it, but Luz doesn't know these people well enough to rob them just yet. So is Joe sleeping in your bed, maybe? Okay. Apparently he's the victim of some Bethesda physics.
Hello. Just stumbled into town? You sure picked a fine day for it, with the crazies out there. Here, have a drink on the house. Welcome to Canterbury. I'm Joe Porter. I make sure folks around here can get a meal when they need it.
So, I don't want to offend you, but are you, 100% human? I know this guy in Meresti who has a mutation, and I've seen him disapparate through tables and stuff, but what you're doing there is really impressive. Anyway, thanks, Joe. Looks like a pretty nice place here.
We do our best. Well, Dom and Ro do their best. I just make sure they've got enough food so they can keep on doing their best. You ever find yourself starving around here, drop by Dot's Diner. We don't charge much, but don't expect any more freebies.
I saw you had some dog armor in the diner. I could use something like that.
Oh, that. I don't have much need for it. Not these days. I can cut you a deal. Say, 100 caps.
Sounds good. I'll take it.
Thanks. Here you go.
All right, let's try it on. Maybe get away from Joe, see if he can get unstuck. You could use some armor. Just put your legs through the holes here. And there we go. Dogmeat now has the closest thing you're going to find in the Fallout universe to dragon armor. Damage resistance was really only a thing for the player and NPCs in Fallout 3. They made creatures tougher just by giving them more hit points. So what this armor does for Dogmeat is it makes him essential. So if his hit points drop to 0, he doesn't die, he just goes unconscious. There's RL3 at the traffic circle. Apparently he's offended that I replaced him. Fair enough, I guess. Alright, I think it's time to save and get into the modding details. If you normally bail out when I start talking about technical stuff, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, give the video a like, and leave a comment before you go. What the hell's going on over there? I've seen creatures spawn down over the hill from the traffic circle. Sometimes they start trouble with the caravans if one's in town, but I've never seen one right here on Main Street. That's weird. Well, the good news is we now have a red scorpion poison gland. The bad news is there's only one marker on the compass, and it's Dogmeat. I think Joe died. No body, so I guess he glitched all the way through the ground. And that's really bad because he can give you a clue that makes it a lot easier to resolve the situation with the AntAgonizer. And, you know, because he was a nice guy and it's sad. And because we could have gotten the armor for free. But mainly the nice guy, sad thing. Yeah. Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. Okay, one more thing before I get into the modding stuff. It's only September in-game, but tomorrow is October 31st in real life. Dogmeat has a costume now, and this would have been a terrible missed opportunity. With the Robco jumpsuit we picked up at the factory last time, and a quick trip to Joseph to do my hair, I'm going as Moira Brown. And there's really only one place in the wasteland to have a Halloween party. That's right. Hanging with the vampires in Meresti. But here's the cool part. When an atom splits, it creates whole new universes. So the fission radiation that's dangerous to us is actually an incredible creative force. But the sun is powered by fusion. Most people think it's great, but it destroys 2 universes for every one it creates. And it does it trillions of times every second. It's horrifying when you think about it. Like, how can you even look at the sun knowing that? That's what I mean when I say the way of the vampire and the teachings of Adam are connected. The Stealth Boy options with Red and Shorty work just like new dialogue we've seen many times before. Oh, I forgot to mention in the gameplay part that this was a suggestion from the comments, so thanks to Mermeth for that. Anyway, the only twist was that you could already give them a stealth boy if you used the vanilla "do you want a weapon" option, they just wouldn't use it. So they each actually have 2 new options, one to give them a stealth boy and use it immediately, and one to use a stealth boy they already have in their inventory. Making them use it is really simple. The result script just calls the equip item function, which is more commonly used to make a character equip a specific weapon or armor, but also works with ingestibles and other items. Dogmeat's armor was done in 2 main phases, both of which were fairly involved. First, making the armor itself, and then getting it to work in the game. I couldn't do a full tutorial on 3D modeling in 10 hours, much less 10 minutes, but the 10-second version is, any model that can be animated has a skeleton, and animation files work by moving and rotating the appropriate bones. Each vertex in the mesh that defines the shape of the model has weight values for 1 or more bones that determine how far that vertex will move when the corresponding bone moves. So when the skeleton moves, the mesh deforms to match. So high level, the steps were to unlink the deathclaw body mesh from the deathclaw skeleton, create a new file with the dog skeleton, dog mesh, and the unlinked deathclaw mesh, cut and sculpt the deathclaw mesh to make it fit around the dog mesh like armor, and then add bone weights from the dog skeleton to the deathclaw mesh so it deforms in exactly the same way as the dog parts it covers when the bones are moved or rotated by an animation. I also tweaked a few cosmetic things because an adult deathclaw is much larger than a dog, so I tried to make it look more like a juvenile. Shorter horns, bigger head in relation to body size, things like that. And finally, the normal deathclaw color didn't really look good on Dogmeat, so I made the texture file a bit darker and browner so it'd stand out more in contrast with his almost bluish-gray fur. Now, despite the gross oversimplification, you might think that was the hard part, but it wasn't. Creatures in Fallout 3 don't have armor slots like the player and NPCs, nor can you swap their 3D model on the fly. That's set in the GECK and it can't be changed in-game. The only way I could think to do it was make a copy of Dogmeat, assign the armored 3D mesh to the copy, and then switch back and forth between the 2 different creatures when you tell him to equip or unequip the armor. The copy used all of Dogmeat's existing scripts and AI packages to avoid a lot of work making it function as a companion. I did need to duplicate all of his dialogue, and there were some other complications, but I worked around them. I'll get into the specifics in a minute, but before I released it, I thought maybe somebody else had found a solution I hadn't thought of to change Dogmeat's appearance on the fly so the duplicate wouldn't be necessary. Like, theoretically, there's no reason you couldn't add human-style armor slots to creatures, but I strongly suspect you'd have to change the game executable to support that. I don't think you could do it just by adding new nodes to the 3D model and corresponding data points in the GECK. Anyway, I took a look at Pintocat's Dogmeat leather armor mod to see how they did it, which is a great mod, by the way. If you want armor for Dogmeat that looks a little more conventional, definitely check it out. But long story short, they dealt with the complications differently, but their basic functionality worked the same way mine did. Or more accurately, because that mod's been out for years, mine worked the same way theirs did. Now, about those complications. I added a new topic to APAM dialogue to give vanilla Dogmeat the armor, and created a new quest for all of APAM Dogmeat's dialogue, with a condition that that's who you're talking to. I duplicated all of vanilla Dogmeat's follower topics, and there's one new topic to switch back to vanilla Dogmeat. One bit of good luck from the standpoint of both effort and safety, Dogmeat's voice lines aren't actually voice and lip sync files like NPCs and most humanoid creatures use. They're actually sound effects and character animations, which are assigned and handled separately under sounds and idle animations, respectively. Which means they work for any creature that uses them, so I didn't have to copy a bazillion voice and lip files to the mod folder and risk missing one like I would with a human NPC. Next complication. APAM Dogmeat has a ref in the world near vanilla Dogmeat in the Scrapyard. When vanilla Dogmeat ref is enabled, APAM Dogmeat ref is invisible and on standby, and vice versa. Which worked great in testing with the console, but when I tried to do it in their dialogue, crashed to desktop. Turns out if you disable an actor while they have a dialogue menu open, the game really doesn't like it. Which in hindsight, duh. So I created an actor effect, which are sometimes still called spells because that's what they were called in Oblivion, and Fallout 3 inherited a lot of technology from that game. The spell has a single base effect, which of course is script type, and here's the script. As you might expect, if vanilla Dogmeat ref is disabled, it moves him to APAM Dogmeat ref and enables him. Otherwise, it does the opposite. But there's a little more to it, which brings me to the next complication. I said APAM Dogmeat uses the same scripts and AI packages as vanilla Dogmeat, but there are two things that aren't in those scripts and packages that factor into determining Dogmeat's behavior: faction membership and the player teammate flag, both of which are set by function calls on a follower's ref ID when you hire or fire them. Those functions are called on both refs in APAM Dogmeat's dialogue, so they always stay in sync when he's enabled, no problem. And I could have overwritten vanilla Dogmeat's dialogue to do the same, but it was easier and safer to take care of it here because it doesn't really matter if APAM Dogmeat stays in sync while he's disabled, and this is the only place he gets enabled. The next complication I discovered when I searched for all instances of vanilla Dogmeat and Dogmeat ref in the GECK, just to make sure I wasn't overlooking anything, which it turned out I was. Several things, in fact. First, the script that handles all vanilla followers takes care of their wait timer and dismissing them when it expires, including Dogmeat. But just like the dialogue for hiring and firing, the wait timer code only sets faction membership and the teammate flag on vanilla Dogmeat, obviously, and ditto for moving him back to his home base, which is also a function call on his ref ID. I needed to do the same thing for APAM Dogmeat, in case you tell him to wait somewhere and then forget where you left him. But because of the way the vanilla script implements the timer, there was no reliable way to detect that it had expired after the fact. So I added a new variable to the quest script, Dogmeat Armor Fired, to keep track of whether APAM Dogmeat is in sync with vanilla Dogmeat's hired or fired status, and code to update things when they get out of sync. If it's 0 and vanilla Dogmeat's fired, that means either the player fired vanilla Dogmeat in dialogue or the wait timer expired, because it would already be set to 1 if they fired APAM Dogmeat in his dialogue. We set it to 1 and then check if vanilla Dogmeat is already at his home base marker. If so, we can be pretty sure the wait timer expired, because if the player fires him, he walks there. The vanilla script takes care of vanilla Dogmeat's faction membership, teammate flag, and location, so we just need to do the same for APAM Dogmeat, and it doesn't matter which one of them was enabled when the timer expired. If the player fired vanilla Dogmeat, we don't need to do anything, because APAM Dogmeat's faction, teammate flag, and location will be resynced if and when the player rehires vanilla Dogmeat and switches armor. It is possible that vanilla Dogmeat could already be at his home marker because the player was standing beside it when they fired him, but this code is just redundant in that case. It doesn't hurt anything. Down here in this else, where Dogmeat Armor Fired isn't 0, if vanilla Dogmeat has been rehired, we just need to set Dogmeat Armor Fired to 0. Again, APAM Dogmeat's faction, teammate flag, and location will be resynced if and when the player switches armor again. And the last complication, vanilla Dogmeat's find packages have scripts that force him to reevaluate which AI package he should be running after he finds the requested item, so he returns it to the player. Because that's another function called on Dogmeat ref, APAM Dogmeat ref doesn't get the signal to change packages. I obviously didn't want to mess around with the vanilla packages, so I added code to the quest script for that too. There were also scripts on several doors to prevent followers from going through them, including Dogmeat ref, but obviously not APAM Dogmeat ref. There was no reliable way to fix that without creating a conflict with other follower mods. If I changed the scripts, there'd be a load order conflict, and if I made replacement doors, there'd be a runtime conflict. So I did nothing, and there's just no failsafe for APAM Dogmeat. If he somehow glitches into Harold's Grove or Raven Rock with you, that's why. And finally, I created a miscellaneous item that has to be in your inventory to put it on Dogmeat, gave Joe dialogue, and made a container so you can buy or steal it, all of which works the same as a ton of other things we've seen in the mod. I haven't found any conflicts with Pintocat's Dogmeat leather armor mod, except that you can't switch to the Pam Deathclaw armor while Pintocat's leather armor is equipped, and vice versa. You have to take any armor off him first, and then switch to the one from the other mod. And that's it. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.